Hello folks, this is Sula once again. Welcome to another video for Teamfight Tactics. I do a lot of videos where I show team comps where things work out really nicely, where the team kind of comes together great. And I think it's useful to show those videos because I think it's nice to see team comps, generally speaking, that work and that fit together in like nice complementary pieces. But sometimes you have games where things don't really work out. Like you just don't really end up hitting the things that you want. And that's what I'm going to try to show in this game. This video is going to be about when to pivot from one starting team composition into another and trying to make the best of a situation that's not really what you want to have. So I try to put a couple of these games up every now and then just to showcase like, hey, things do not always go great in all of the games that I play. And you've got to do your best to try and do the best finish possible, even when luck is maybe not necessarily on your side. All right, so this is taken from a ranked game. This is a ranked game I was playing relatively early in the season. I haven't played that many ranked games yet, but I've been doing pretty well in them overall. Admittedly, as you're starting out on the ladder, you're not hitting like the most difficult people in the world, but a lot of the people in my games are actually people who are in like Platinum and Diamond in previous seasons, and they are also playing their way up the ladder. As far as what's happened thus far, I've got an early Lysandra, and I was immediately thinking like, early Lysandra, maybe if I get a rod out of these minion rounds, I could just slap an early Morelos on here, which would be very strong as an option. But so far that has not happened. And I'm going to end up getting belts and a cloak, which is not that great. So anyway, I'm looking at what's here. I'm like, self-repair. I don't have any innovators, bruisers. I haven't found any bruisers yet. And I was like, oh, runic shield. Arcanists start combat with a shield equal to 300% of their ability power for 8 seconds. I was like, oh, you know what? I've got a Scholar here in Lysandra. I've got some, I've already got 2 Arcanist champs. I've got a Ziggs and I've got a Twisted Fate. Looks like it's probably an Arcanist game. Now maybe I just find like another early Scholar. If I could find like Zyra or something, I could play, like Zyra and Lysandra. Lysandra could actually be a frontliner, maybe, early on in the game. And it looks like it'll just be kind of like a standard Arcanist game. That was the thinking, at least up to this point in time. I do need to get some kind of frontline, obviously. 2 Arcanist, 2 Scrap is not bad as far as traits go, but I am currently playing 3 one-cost units. There's the Runic Shield kicking in. It's a very nice augment to get if you're playing Arcanist, and I thought that I had a pretty good setup for Arcanist here. And instead I end up getting a Zac here, and I was like, you know what? I could play Bruisers for frontline. That's not typically how you play an Arcanist comp. They generally prefer to play through bodyguards just because it's... And then, by the way, I get the Zyra here, so it would have been nice to have that Lysandra go play with Zyra. But I ended up selling it because I wanted to pick up that... Pick up the Alawi. So instead, I'm going to look to play some Brawler frontline here. As I was saying, Arcanists typically play not through Brawlers because if you're going to play like Lux, it can be good to have Leona because that picks up the Academy trait. Braum is also good frontline, whereas if you're playing Bruisers, like the frontline Bruisers are generally like Zac and Mundo, and they kind of play into like more Chemtech. They don't really play into an Arcanist setup. Alternately, you can just find Vex and play Vex for your frontline. That also works really well. In fact, 3-star Vex is kind of like the preferred frontline for this setup, but I have not found Vex. And I don't have Yordle straight in, so it's not like I'm just going to find Vex out of the free Yordle econ. Darius also makes a great frontliner early because you can play TF plus Zyra plus Darius, and that gets a Syndicate trade in, which makes Darius very tanky. But I found none of that, so I'm just trying to make use of what I've gotten thus far. I got the early Zac drop, so I was like, all right, I'll just make a Warmogs here, and that's going to give Zac a ton of health together with Alawi for the Bruisers bonus. And, having this much health this early in the game is actually pretty useful. Early on in the game, there's not that much damage. So it's like as the game goes on into Teamfight Tactics, more and more damage gets put into the game. So early on in the game, just having a lot of health can be really quite good because there's just not enough damage on champions in order to hit the point at which they're going to be able to kill your units. So I'm looking at this board. I have no 2-star units. This person has 3 2-star units, and they had the hyper roll augment in there. So I was like, all right, well, I'm definitely not going to win this round, right? I mean, this would just be silly to win this round. They have four units that are all 2-starred, and I have no units that are 2-starred. But somehow my board actually looks like it's winning this. I was like, what? How did that happen? Well, I guess Zac just tank the whole enemy team, and I don't think that there were a lot of traits in play over on that board. So I was very surprised to see that happen, but as I said, I will take it. I'm not going to complain. The fact that somehow my board of 1 stars beat a team of all 2 stars. And so I'm going to toss in the Trundle, who will be a better bruiser than Alawi and also picks up Scrap trait. Not that I'm really have any items on Scrap Champions right now, but whatever. It still gives me a tiny shield by having Scrap in there on everybody. So yeah, I'm looking at these other boards, and I'm like just thinking, so far so good. I'm not exactly sure how I won that second round, but I'm not going to complain. Maybe the Runic Shield making a bit of a difference. So I'm up against another board that looks vastly stronger than me, and am I going to have another ridiculous outcome this time and be able to beat this board that looks way stronger? This time it looks like that is not the case, so I'll just go ahead and sell the Alawi right now because, as I said, I did not think I am beating this board. At least Swain manages to kill 1 unit, but not going to be able to kill Ez, even if we did. Ez is a Guardian Angel, so whatever. And unsurprisingly, I lose that round. Again, the mystery was winning a round on 2-2, which I was not expecting in the least. So what am I looking for here? Well, since I'm trying to play into Arcanist, rods are always good. I have a cloak on my bench, which is not really an item that I can use that well. I guess there is the possibility to pick up a spatula, but that's not going to do anything for me unless I can get like another rod. So I've got to look for different options here, and I decide that I'll take the Chain Vest. Chain Vest, a good item in this meta. The patch that we've been playing these games on is kind of an assassin-based meta game. Really nice to have things like a Bramble Vest for your frontline units. It's quite nice to have a Guardian Angel on any attack damage carry. So this is, not like the greatest item, but it was on a 3 gold champ. I wanted to get the 3 gold off Malzahar, and I had the option to make a Gargoyle Stoneplate, so I'll go ahead and do that. It was a good way to make use of that cloak. I don't have great uses for cloaks in this particular team comp. And now I have to consider, do I want to go ahead and level up to level 5? I would normally level to 5 here. I'm checking the mutant ability. It's the Dark Star ability. And so ultimately I end up not leveling just because I don't think that I'm going to be able to win streak, and I would prefer to go up to 20 gold if possible by selling one of the units that I have here. When I saw this Innovator comp that I was up against, I was actually glad I had not leveled because I definitely would not have beaten this team comp. Like, I'm not going to win this round, and leveling up to 5 would not cause me to win this round. This other team comp is significantly stronger than what I have here. I mean, Zach's grabbing the target dummies, so whatever. And I just go ahead and sell Zyra because whatever. So yeah, I was very lucky to win the first 2 rounds. I don't really have very much right now. And we're at the point where now I'm starting to lose rounds, but that's to be expected. And honestly, losing a few rounds here is not terrible because it allows me to potentially lost streak for a little bit. I do have some luck there. I find another Trundle. I hit Ziggs 2-star. I mean, Ziggs 2-star is not going to carry that hard, but I mean, I do find another Ziggs. And like I say, I've got 2 out of 3 Twisted Fates and 2 out of 3. Actually, I have pairs for almost my whole board. Everything except Zach I've got pairs of right now, and a pair of TFs on the bench. So, again, I'm still thinking, I just need to find a few more Arcanists. Just show me like a Malzahar or something, and we'll go up to 4 Arcanists on level 5. On level 5 we can play 4 Arcanists, and just give me like a Rod or a tier for Shojin. And, we can maybe put items on like Malzahar or something and be off and rolling. In this particular round, it looks like I'm going to win this one. Not much I could do. That person was playing an incredibly weak board. I guess I could have deliberately made my board weaker, but it's okay. I'll hold on to this position, and I'm still in pretty good shape economically. I have quite a bit of money. All right, so let's see what we can find now on this minion rounds. As soon as these other players wrap up with their matches, we'll see what we can end up finding. And, well, there's an early Fiora. I was like, why couldn't you be an early Lux here? That would sure be nice. So I hit level 5. I toss in the Twisted Fades for lack of other options. And, yeah, we're just going to see what we can find in terms of items here. Again, I'm hoping for rods would be good. At least 1 Brawler's Glove for Jewel Gauntlet would be good. I want at least 1 tier for Spear of Shojin. Blue buff not as great because it kind of is only useful on Lux. It can't be used on Victor. But we'll see what we get here. And let's see. So I'm going to get a tier. That's good. I do want at least 1 tier in this team composition. And what else can we find here? You can see my team does not have a lot of damage because it takes them a while to kill the minions. So I get another Trundle, that'll be Trundle 2-star, which is nice. And a bow, which is not so great. Bow is not at the item I want in this team comp. The Arcanist really can't make use of bows like at all, so that's not so great. But I guess I can sell Poppy to get to 40 gold. So again, I'm pretty wealthy in terms of how much money I have. It's more that I can't really do a whole lot with these items. So I was like, all right, I'll just put this tier on TF because why not? And I guess he'll cast a little bit sooner. Maybe I can find a sword for Spear of Shojin. I don't feel like my board is very good at all right now, and I'm concerned that I don't really have any offensive items for an Arcanist comp. Like, no rods. If you have no rods at this stage of the game, that's kind of concerning. But still, I mean, I could still just need to find the units that I'm looking for. We're up against someone who I think is running a Mercenaries board here. This person, Monkey Suckers 69, great name, by the way. Yeah, so they're deliberately lost streaking. So all I can really do is just deal as much damage as possible to this player. And I find another Trundle, and at this point I'm like, where are the Arcanists in this team comp? I have not found any other Arcanists. I have found no Vexes. I found no Malzahars. I'm just not really finding the units that I need to play this team comp. I am getting a lot of bruisers though. So at this point I was really starting to think like, should I look to start to play into just like a Chemtech bruisers game? That would leave me with a completely useless augment in the form of that runic shield. But by the same token, if you just don't have the items and you don't have the champions to play a team comp, at some point you have to realize that continuing to just blindly head in one direction is not necessarily going to work. I'm also being contested on Arcanist by 2 other players. We haven't seen too many of them yet, but there are 2 other players that are playing Arcanist in this lobby. I mean, this round's going great, but my team has just so little damage. I'm mostly just getting by based on tankiness. I'm not going to be able to make this work forever unless I can get some actual damage to make this team comp go. All right, and now what augment am I going to get here? And I was like, these are not the augments I want for an Arcanist team comp. So I'm going to go ahead and take the one that provides armor and magic resistance for any unit that doesn't have an armor on it. But again, this is an augment that's more geared towards like a tanky team comp. It is really not a good augment for an Arcanist team comp, which is a spellcasting team comp that has like a lot of relatively fragile units. I mean, I'm sure you can make it work, but at this point, I'm really starting to question whether this is the team comp that I want to play. Like, looking at this board, this is not a board that looks like it's going to be an Arcanist team comp. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and pick up the Lysandra right here. I was like, all right, I'm going to wait and look at this carousel. Maybe I could get like a Luxoff carousel. It is possible on this upcoming carousel after this round. But if I don't get that, then maybe I'm just looking to play into like bruisers, Chemtech bruisers, because I am getting a lot of Chemtech units and I'm getting a lot of bruisers. So yeah, let's just go ahead and see what we're able to do. I'm looking to see what I can do with this tier if I don't make it into a Spear of Shojin. Trying to think what other options there might be for that. So yeah, again, I'm trying to do my best to get through these front lines. I'm quite tanky. I'm just very low on damage in this team comp. I'm up against someone who has Ascension as their augment, so they kind of get a lot stronger after 15 seconds, which is not good for me because I'm not winning these fights very quickly by virtue of just being tanky. All right, so yeah, I'm actually surprised I managed to win as many rounds as I did because I don't feel like my board is especially strong here. All right, well, here we go with another carousel. So what am I looking for here? Well, that Heimer with the rod, that would certainly be nice. Maybe I can use that to play into some kind of Arcanist setup. Could also maybe give me closer to Yordles, although it's a little late in the game to be playing Yordles. But Heimer gets taken with the rod, and at this point I was like, okay. I am going to pivot here. I couldn't get any rods. I don't think it's a good idea to keep playing Arcanist with no rods. I'm just going to accept the fact that this runic augment is going to be completely useless. I'm going to have a dead augment that's not doing anything for me. And I'm going to move out of this team comp. And it's like, yeah, look at my shop. Again, no Arcanist. I just haven't found any, like, the whole game. So we're going to pivot out of this. We're going to ditch the Arcanists who aren't doing anything. Going to sell all of them to raise some gold. And for the moment, I will put... I'm going to move into Chemtech Bruisers, playing through Urgot, which I don't think is a great team comp in this patch. Like, it's playable, but it's not great. It's especially not great with no Bruiser emblem and no Chemtech emblem. But I'll put Urgot items on Warwick for right now. He can use them at least okay. And we are now 4 Bruiser, 3 Chemtech. This is still a comp that is very low on damage. And I'm thinking that I'm probably going to have to roll a little bit on level 7 because I'm going to have to stabilize. I have a couple 2-stars in there, but this board is just not very strong. This is one of the other people who's playing Arcanist that was contesting the other comp. So I definitely want to be moving out of this like very contested comp that I just do not have the pieces to play. Fortunately, that person's board is just not very strong, and again, we're just like kind of buying time here with these rounds. With this overall board that doesn't feel very strong. If the lobby had been in a stronger position, I would have had to roll on 6, but I think I can go to 7, roll on 7. I'm honestly kind of shocked that I have 80 HP right now, and like I said, I think it's partly due to the fact that these lobbies are maybe not as strong. Here, when this match was played, I think my account was high silver. So again, a lot of these players were highly rated in previous sets, but as I said, this is definitely not a diamond quality game here, which I think is what's allowing me to get away with some of this stuff. All right, now this is an assassin comp, so the real question is, can we ever kill this Katarina? Like, I need Lysandra to get off an ult that freezes the cat. That's kind of the only way I have any chance of winning this. But no, Warwick gets popped immediately. I have no damage. My team's tanky, but I'm never going to be able to kill the Katarina. I just don't have the damage to do it. At least we managed to get Echo. But yeah, you can see how this is not going well. That's not a fight I can win, and as I said, I really do think my team is just going to fall off super duper hard. Now, there's one other thing I want to call out in the lobby, and this is relevant for later on in the game. If you remember the person with the really weird... Oh, by the way, there's Vex now, but it's a little late for that. I've already pivoted out of this. If you remember that person with the weird name, Monkey Sucker 69, well, that person has been playing Mercenaries, and they've been lost streaking the whole game. They're actually all the way down on 39 HP, but they just won their round at the end of stage 3. So they were on like an 8 or 9 loss streak, and then they just cashed out their mercenary straight. So they just got a gigantic cash out, and they're going to end up being super duper strong as a result of this, as we're going to see very, very shortly. I was not watching this on when the game was going on, and unfortunately, TFT still does not have replays, so I can't like go back and watch that. But trust me, we're going to see that player pretty soon and see what they get. Now, the good news is I'm able to make great use of the items that I have here, and I am going to roll on 7. So I'm going to go ahead and make Urgot items, and I end up hitting some very nice Urgot items. So we go ahead and put Scholar in here. I'm just looking to try and find a little bit more. I find an Urgot, and that's what I'm looking for here. That's going to allow me to play Urgot. But I already had the Hurricane. I made that off the carousel on stage 3. Got the pieces to grab a Last Whisper, which is really nice for Urgot because it allows him to shred armor on tanks. It means he doesn't get stuck on tanks nearly as easily as he does without it. And then I also make Guardian Angel, which I think is a good item in this meta just because in the current makeup of Teamfight Tactics, there's a lot of assassins in lobbies. So it's quite nice if your carries have stuff that just gives them protection from getting popped at the start of fights. All right, so Urgot, I've now got Urgot in, 4 Bruiser, 3 Chemtech, 2 Scholar. I'm hoping that this is going to allow me to play through here. By the way, Urgot can fire while he's in the Guardian Angel animation. Not going to be quite enough to beat this person, but it's a close loss, so I'll take it. I think at this point I stop rolling and I decide I'm going to look to try to play up to level 8 and then roll again on level 8. I think I can make it for a couple of rounds here and then get up to level 8 afterwards. I'm holding the Warwick in case I need him for 5 Chemtech and then seeing what else I can get here. So I'm looking around at the others' boards. I'm scouting, blah, 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 scouting. And then I get to Monkey Sucker 69's board and I was like, wait, what? Wait, there's a Tahm Kench and a Jinx on this board? I was like, wait, what? And then it turns out I actually hit this comp. And I was like, wait a minute, you already have a Jinx and a Tahm Kench at level 7? So I don't know if these came out of the mercenary payout or if this was just like an absolutely insane level 7 shop that they hit because, you know, you only have 1% odds to find legendary units. But like Jinx with those items on stage 4-2 is absolutely insane. And what's worse is this person is now contesting my team comp because they are, I'm guessing that they probably hit the Jinx as a payout from their big Mercenaries loss streak. And then they're like, all right, well, what pairs with that? Let's grab Urgot. Maybe they found Tahm Kench, I don't know, but like they've got Urgot and Tahm Kench and a Nico's on the bench and just amazing Jinx items too. So I was like, oh my god, I'm never beating this team comp. This team comp is ridiculous. I'm never going to beat that team, so I just have to hope I don't see that comp very often, because I'm going to lose every single time I hit that board. Jinx and Tahm Kench on stage Stage 4 too. Just completely nuts. And they've got the Nico's help, so that's going to be either a Jinx 2 or a Tahm Kench 2 as soon as they hit. Oh, and they had max gold. It's not like they even rolled down. They're max gold too, 50 gold in the bank. Anyway, I was just still trying to get over that. At this point, I was like, okay, I'm probably not going to win this lobby. This is just me trying to survive as best I can. Oh, and by the way, there's another person playing Urgot as well. So that means there's 3 people playing Urgot. And one of them already has 2 Urgots, or already has an Urgot and a Nico and a Jinx and a Tahm Kench. And then this guy's just got another Urgot, I guess, randomly. So I was like, oh my goodness. Now I'm super contested on this comp. This comp's not even that good anymore. It was really good in the release patch of Teamfight Tactics. It's not that great in this patch. So I'm not going to win this round either. If there's good news here, it's that this other person that is playing Urgot, they're level 7. They have no gold. They rolled all their gold. So they are completely out of money. But yeah, so they're not going to be able to go to level 8 and roll it down on level 8. But still, seriously, what the heck, man? What is going on here? Well, there is a Jinx here. And I was like, oh my god, Jinx? Can I grab that Jinx? Can I please get that Jinx? But it turns out it already gets taken. I was like, oh, really? The Jinx already got taken? So I ended up grabbing Yone just because he's one of the most expensive units. Maybe I should have taken the Jace. Actually, in retrospect, I should have taken the Jace. Both to deny other players access to the Jace, and also because the glove can be used for a bunch of different items. So I think that's a mistake in retrospect. Should have taken the Jace. Because I know that there's one person who's playing Innovators, and I think they just got their Jace there. Alright, so I am, again, trying to get to 8. I decide I need to go to 8 here because I don't have that much health. So I go to 8 here, and let's see, do I continue rolling here? Alright, yeah, so I managed to hit some useful stuff. I managed to hit Zac 2 stars. That currently has all my tank items. So I figured that this was a good place to stop rolling. Note that I was on a four-match losing streak, so I figured I needed to get stronger there and not bleed out anymore. And then I'm going to look to roll again at the end of stage 4, beginning of stage 5. But I thought I needed to get a little bit stronger there, or else I was going to be in all kinds of trouble. Need to start winning at least a few rounds so that I don't just drop out of this in like 7th or 8th place. So this field definitely feels better. Going up that level and getting Janet in allowed me to get Scholar trait back in and also put Scrap trait back in, and while still having 4 Bruiser 3 Chem Tech. And making Zac 2-star helps me out quite a bit because Zac is currently my main tank. I have not found Mundo yet. Would really like to find Mundo, but he hasn't shown up yet. Alright, so what do I have here? Well, I can get a Mercenary Emblem, that's not useful. A Scrap Emblem, that's not useful. But I do pick up something that's quite nice, which is Knife's Edge. Your units in the first 2 rows gain, I think it's 45 attack damage. So that's going to be pretty handy. And here I actually decide, you know what, do I want to play Jace over Janna? It does give me Enforcer with Vi. And Jace, of course, being a legendary unit, is just pretty good in general. So I decide, alright, let's go ahead and try this for right now. I figure I'll at least play Jace for the moment. I do lose Scholar and Scrap, but Scrap's not really doing all that much. And the Scholar tech is not that important, although it's certainly not bad. But I'm kind of playing through Urgot, and his mana costs are not super high, so Scholar not as useful. Although, as I said, certainly not bad. Trying to build, so I want everyone in the first 2 rows so that they can take use of that new Knife's Edge augment, which is actually quite useful. Urgot is a carry that plays reasonably well in the front 2 ranks. And remember, he has a Guardian Angel, so even if he pulls aggression, Guardian Angel will allow him to revive. And I just need to make good use of that. This person's almost dead, so let's see if I can knock them out of the game right here. They've got a Lux with blue, but Lux trolls her ultimate. She fires it at the Trundle, who does not really care that much. So no reset on the Lux, at least not to start. So Lux is going to have to fill up that mana bar repeatedly. And yeah, that's it. Well, so much to one person who was contesting me on Arcanist earlier in the game. They just get knocked out. But unfortunately, now it's not the Arcanist players who need to get knocked out. It's the Urgot players who I need to see knocked out. Anyway, Monkey Sucker 69 is off on a win streak, and that's not a surprise in the least. I can't say I'm shocked to see that happen. I do find an early Yuumi here, and I decide, you know what, I'm going to play Yuumi. I think she is a nice fit with the Lysandra for Scholar, and I just think she's probably a little bit better than Jace. I also do find my first Mundo, so we can move out of the Alawi. And then the question is, can I manage to get up to 5 Chem Tech? I can always drop Gangplank and lose Twin Shot on Urgot. That does cut his damage by a fair bit, but it's probably better to go up to 5 Chem Tech if I can find that. Unfortunately, now I'm left with this like leftover Bloodthirster, which I really can't do a whole lot with. But all right, let's go ahead and roll, see what else we can find. I really would like to find 2-star Urgot here, if at all possible. So we hit the Lysandra, that's pretty big. She's very useful. And then I find the Victor, and I was like, ooh, Victor. What if we play Victor for 5 Chemtech? That feels pretty good. Let's just go ahead and do that. We lose Twin Shot, but that's okay. And then I get some more hits there. I find another Urgot. And that's great. I found I was able to hit what I needed there, which was to get the 2-star Urgot. So that was pretty lucky. I haven't had great luck at finding Mundo in this game. Would have been nice to find him sooner. But I was able to find the Urgot. Now, here's the sad thing. Look who I'm up against. Yeah, I'm up against this same comp again. And this is pretty unlucky to hit this comp. This is like almost as soon as it's possible for me to hit this team comp. Again, I have no chance of ever beating this team comp. This player already has, I mean, we saw had the Jinx before. Now the Jinx is 2-starred. Probably used a Nico to get the 2-star Jinx, but has the 2-star Jinx, has 2-star Urgot, has 2 out of 3 Tahm Kenches, has a 2-star Mundo, and is continuing to just scale upwards. I'm like, I will never beat this team comp. This person is way, way, way too strong. I do find another Victor, though. That's pretty good. So if I can find one more Victor, and get Victor 2-star and maybe get like a Shojin or some AP on him, then I at least maybe have a shot to finish in a better position. I'm still hoping to find 2-star Mundo. If I can find 2-star Mundo, I'll sell the Zac and remove those items over to Mundo. These are good items for Mundo. Very, very tanky once I can get those items on him. And Chemtech 5 is nice to have in. Like 5 Chemtech, 4 Bruiser, 2 Scholar. This is pretty nice. If I can just find Jinx, I would drop the Yuumi to play Jinx. I would love to find that, but I think finding another Victor is probably my highest priority right now. I would love to see another Victor on the upcoming carousel. And by the way, he actually gets a cast off. Like with no Shojin, it takes him forever to cast, but he does actually get a cast off, and it does pretty good damage. Did like 1,200 damage, not bad. But he's definitely the best unit I can play to get 5 Chemtech in, which is something I want to have in anyway. By the way, look how much trouble Katarina's having with this Vex that has a Bramble Vest. As that Bramble, just a really good counter. Who's going to end up winning this? Looks like it's the Vex. So yeah. Very difficult for Cat to get through that Bramble Vest. I mentioned it's like an assassin meta. So I'm just crossing my fingers. Can I maybe get one more Victor here? All right, no. Victor or Jin? Not Jin. Victor or Jinx. I have done this in like every single video I've ever recorded. Jinx and Jin, getting the two of them confused. But yeah, Victor or Jinx. Those are the units I'm looking for right now. It's pretty clear I'm definitely never getting to level 9, so we're just staying at 8 and rolling here, and just trying to hold on and survive. I'm like, please do not keep putting me up against the person who has on like a 9-match winning streak. If you've noticed, the Monkey Sucker 69 has not lost a round since they cashed out their long Mercenaries losing streak, and got the big benefit from getting the cash out. All right, here is that other person who's playing Urgot. The good news is I have 2-star Urgot. I also think my Urgot items are quite a bit better. This person does not have the Hurricane, which is a really important item for Urgot, so his damage can splash to more than one target. And I'm actually going to win this round relatively easily. It's taking a little bit longer than I want, but let's be honest, I'm going to win this eventually. So I'm like, hey, get out of the game. Put those Urgots back in the pool. No. All right, well, this is looking pretty good here. We've got some useful stuff on Carousel. I'll be second pick. The Spear of Shojin is certainly an attractive item, and it's even on a Tahm Kench. Now the question is, do I just hold the Tahm Kench and put Tahm Kench in, or do I sell him and put the Shojin on Victor? I decided it would probably be better just to sell him and put the item on Victor, or at least I think that that's what I ended up doing here, so that I could make use of this item and also get 5 more gold to roll with. Yeah, there it is. That's what I thought I did. So we hit 2-star Mundo, that's great. Now I can switch these tank items over to Mundo, who uses them better than Zac. Zac is now just in there as like a trait bot. And hey, I might be able to remake Zac 2-star, which wouldn't be bad. I just need to find one more Zac. All right, come on. Keep looking. And hey, there we go. So it didn't hurt me at all to transfer those items over to Mundo. We get right back up to Zac 2-star again, which is nice. In terms of positioning, remember I have to keep all my units in the front 2 ranks to take advantage of the Knife's Edge. Otherwise, I probably would play Urgot a little bit further back. I'm trying to position him near Vi because Vi has that armor shred. But hey, guess what? Guess which team comp we're up again? Yeah, we're up against this same guy again. Monkey Sucker 69. I'm like, why do I keep hitting this team comp? What the heck? What is wrong with this? Why do I always hit this team comp? Like, I have hit this comp 3 times in like the last 8 rounds. It's ridiculous. I have had terrible luck in terms of who I'm fighting. Now, I know every time someone gets knocked out of the game, it kind of resets who can hit who. I know that that's how the matchmaking works, but I have still been seriously unlucky in terms of hitting this comp. Like, I've bled out, I don't know how much health to this stupid other team that has the utterly insane Jinx 2, Tom Kench 2, Urgot 2, Mundo 2, whatever the heck that person's playing. At this point, the question is only whether they're gonna be whether they're like gonna lose a single round for the whole rest of the game. I am just trying to hold on here so I can get a top 4 finish. Really, really just need to win like 1 more round. So I'm like, come on, please don't put me up against this person again. It's like the one person that I can't beat. There is another scary comp that has managed to hit Innovator 7 and picked up the dragon. This time I'm up against the Lux Arcanist comp. So I was like, oh, can I beat this comp? Well, the good news is Victor gets off a nice ult. My team is looking pretty strong, and aha, I do not ultimately end up dying to the Lux. Now that ended up being a ghost round, but it works out anyway because those comps get knocked out anyway. The 2 people with lots of health beat the 2 people who don't have a lot of health. And hey, I've got a top 4. I'm in 3rd place. I was like, this is great. Now, do I have any chance of getting a 2nd place? Because I'm sure as heck not getting a 1st place. There is a way for this to happen. I have to hit the 2nd place person, Oprah here. If I can hit them in an actual PvP match and win, and then hit them again in a ghost round and win again, then I have a chance to get 2nd place. Like, I need to hit them in a ghost round, I not hit Monkey Sucker 69 in a ghost round, and then hit them, and then have the player who's like unbeatable actually win in the PvP against them. So if that happens, I can get 2nd, but if not, then at least I'll get 3rd place. So I'm rolling. I just need a Jinx or that last Victor, but I did not end up hitting that. And the fact that they have Innovator 7 with the dragon in is definitely kind of scary. I actually don't think that Innovator comp's built very well at all. I really haven't seen that board in some time. I've been hitting the other player over and over and over again, but not the not that person. So I actually repositioned here so that Trundle could hit to tank the Blitzcrank hook, because I was thinking that I would probably hit this comp. So it actually works. Trundle does tank the Blitzcrank hook instead of Victor. That means Victor's going to stay alive to get his cast off. Unfortunately, the dragon is going to do what the dragon does, fear the whole board. And I was like, come on, Urgot, come on, Urgot, come on, Victor, you guys can do this, go Victor Laser! And after the dust settles, it turns out that Mundo is alive, Zac is alive, and the dragon is alive. I was like, can we beat the dragon? The dragon does do quite a bit of damage, but Mundo is very tanky. I'm like, come on, come on. Can we kill the dragon? Oh, no. Apparently I cannot kill the dragon. And that's pretty bad. That was a ghost round. Remember how I said I had to have the ghost round against that person and then win? No, it did not. Oh, wait, no, that wasn't a ghost round. Never mind. That was an actual PvP round. So, yeah, I kind of needed to win that round in order to have a realistic chance of getting 2nd place. Now I'm pretty much guaranteed to hit Monkey Sucker 69 on one of the next 2 rounds. I think I actually am guaranteed to hit that player on one of the next 2 rounds. So unless I can somehow beat this player who's been win streaking for the last 12 rounds or whatever the heck, this is going to be a 3rd place finish. And yeah, so what do they have? They have Tom Kench 2, Jinx 2, Urgot 2, Seraphine 2, Mundo 2, and they're level 9. And apparently now they're building Jace as well. So the Jinx is just unkillable. I cannot beat this Jinx. It's not going to happen. Mundo actually does a pretty impressive job of tanking against the entire enemy team, but we know how this ends, and it's not with a win, so boom. Yeah, I get punished pretty hard there. But hey, it's a 3rd place finish, and I'm actually really happy with that. This is a good example of a game where things didn't really work. Like, I wanted to play Arcanist, I didn't get Arcanist, I ended up with a dead Augment. I then switched into Urgot, only to be contested by 2 other players playing Urgot, and one person who, like, high-rolled out of their freaking mind with the Jinx 2 and the early Tom Kench 2 and what have you. So, like, sometimes this is going to happen. Your games don't always work perfectly. Sometimes stuff like this is going to happen. So, if you can have a game like this and still take 3rd place, like, just be happy with it. Like, this is a good result. All right, so now we just have this round, and I'm very confident that Monkey Sucker 69 is going to end up winning this one. But it turns out that this fight does not go the way I was expecting to. So Jinx ends up jumping into the middle of the team, but Zillion gets off a time bomb right as Jinx jumps in. Jinx gets frozen in place. Jinx is not doing as much damage as she should. Then she gets feared by the dragon again. Excuse me, and without the Jinx, Monkey Sucker 69 actually loses that fight. I was like, what? So yeah, it was Jinx getting feared by the dragon, and then Jinx getting hit by a Zillion time bomb, and I think that person has Zillion 3. So look what Monkey Sucker 69 does. This player goes ahead and grabs a Trap Claw. So I'm still watching this. I was like, oh, this is the sign of a player who knows what they're doing. They immediately grab that Trap Claw. You know what Trap Claw is going to do? It's going to block the fear from the dragon, and that's going to allow Jinx to pop off. So yeah, I do not think this is a very good Innovator comp, to be honest. Like, they've hit Innovator 7, and like randomly they have like a Zillion 3, but like look at the itemization. Who is the carry in this team? Is it melee form Jace with Bloodthirster Infinity Edge? Like, that's not good itemization. Like, what are these items on the Zillion? That's not a Thief's Glove. He's just got a Guardian Angel and a Zeke's and a Static Shield. Like, what the heck is this? Like, this is not a very well-built team comp. Monkey Sucker 69 has a much better built team comp. I think this is a person who just like randomly hit Innovator 7 and some 3-star units. So yeah, this fight goes much better. Note that Jinx does not get feared by the dragon this time. And Jinx with all these items, even though she does get Zillion Time Bomb, she is just shredding everything on the enemy team. So yeah, this fight ends up being not all that close. And that's going to be a first place for the person who cashed out. So I'm going to type GG, Trap Claw OP. And they're going to say, haha, yeah. And so that's going to be an end to this one. So as already mentioned, not a crazy game, not a game where everything came together, but a good example of when to pivot from a team comp that's not working, and a good example of making the best of a situation that's maybe not so great. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this look at a game that didn't go perfectly. Until next time, have a great week. See you guys soon.